You've worked hard to build a dream retirement. Now it's time to put that plan into action. This is Retire ATL with Aaron Vincent and Matt Decker. The team at Vincent Financial wants to help you build, protect, and grow income to get you to and through retirement. Now, Retire ATL with Aaron Vincent and Matt Decker.
This is the Retire ATL podcast, all powered by the Vincent Financial Group. You can get more when you visit retireatlradio.com. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for downloading. Now, let's get to the show. Gentlemen, it was very weird to think that we're bumping up against the end of the year.
Don't say things like that.
I'm sorry. It's very awesome.
Freaks me out.
It's great to think we're bumping up against the year.
Yeah, man.
That's better.
Is that better? You just got
I love
to
that.
phrase it differently.
I love that.
Guys, the holidays are almost here.
Christmas is coming.
Christmas is coming.
Pumpkin spice latte.
Here we go. Don't let Aaron fool you.
I know.
Huge PSL fan.
You know, a couple weeks ago, he came in with that cup, and we thought it was a PSL, but it wasn't time yet.
It was no. He makes it at his house.
Right.
He sells it.
That
It's
was
his side hustle.
That was 4 Roses.
So this time of the year, what are some of the big conversations? What do we as adults this time of the year with our retirement portfolios, our financial portfolios, what should we be focusing on?
You know, I love the lead into that show. This show. We're here.
Show,
Hello. Hi, guys.
Your show.
I
The
love
one
the
that you
lead
pay
into
for.
the show.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, this one here. You said, Aaron, you may feel like there's something missing. You may feel like in your gut there's something missing. And I'm here to tell you that that's something that's missing is probably tax planning. Mm-hmm. Of all the things that people come in to the office, never one time has someone come in and said, guys, here is my optimized tax plan. And I've looked at, Roth conversions, and I've looked at, all the things. We got about 60 tax strategies that we use in the office. We're going to try to talk about 5 of them today, but no one has come into the office yet. I'm still waiting. I hope that you'd call in and you say, I'm that person. I've done it. Please come in, call the office, 770-741-0120, and let us know you're that person. You've done it all, and we'll find out. But Aaron, you've got a great line about taxes, and I'm curious if on the spot you know what that line is.
The way he's looking at you, I'm going to say no.
Man. I got a bunch of them, but the one that comes to mind is
Taxes are like sorry.
you can't out-return the tax brackets.
That's the one. See, he knew.
Yes.
That's the one.
That's
you can't out-return the tax brackets.
And
so,
also, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Matt, what, for our listeners out there who are on the cusp of the retirement kind of zone, what's going to be their biggest expense in their retirement?
Well, let's give them the top 2.
Okay.
So top.
Or let's give them the top 2 most common answers, or top 3.
Okay.
I'll throw one out there. Oh, grandkids! I got to travel to see my grandkids.
Yeah. Healthcare.
Travel.
Yep.
Those are the usual answers that we get when we ask that rhetorical question. What's going to be your biggest expense in retirement? Those are the common answers.
Yep.
Yet, to Matt's point, Matt, what's going to be that biggest expense for 99.9% of us?
Pumpkin spice latte.
No. Well, I don't know, man. That'd be something.
It ain't cheap.
It's not cheap. The number one biggest expense that you pay with cash is going to be taxes. For sure. Taxes for sure.
Over your 30-plus year retirement, we're projecting out a good, long, healthy life for you. You will spend more money paying taxes than anything else, and yet everything that Matt just said about no one's ever come in here with a tax plan that was complete,
dialed in,
never happened before.
That's not a technical term, by the way. Right. That's just me using words that I feel like, no one's come in with a dialed-in tax plan. They may have some ideas.
And if that phenomenon isn't a red flag that our financial retirement kind of investment management education is upside down, then I don't know what is.
Yeah. The second biggest expense, it's the biggest expense, but you don't actually pay it with dollars. It's an opportunity cost expense, and that is ignorance. You don't know what you don't know. So if you don't know that there's a better way to do what you're doing, well, then you're going to pay more taxes than you have to. If you don't know, we've all paid the ignorance tax or the idiot tax, and those are good educations, right? You make a mistake, you make a bet, and you're like, I just never doing that again.
Won't do that again.
Yeah, okay. So that's its own form of education. But those are the 2 biggest expenses, the taxes that you pay, and then also the ignorance tax of, I didn't know what was possible.
I made decisions
and I'm overpaying
with imperfect information.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So today, what we want to do, we want to hit 5.
Okay.
5 of our 60 strategies. We tried to choose 5 that are applicable, 5 that are digestible, and then also one or two kind of sexy ones just to keep everybody engaged and listening.
I'm looking forward to those.
Yeah. At any point, if you're like, oh man, that's me. I need that one. Just call the number 770-741-0120. You go to retireatlradio.com. We'll get you set up with a discovery call. We'll talk about what you're trying to do, which one sounded good to you, and we'll figure out if it's a good fit, or if maybe one of the other 59 strategies that you didn't hear, maybe that's a good fit. So, Aaron, we talk a lot about you got to have your money in the right buckets, and you got to withdraw from those buckets in the right order.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious, do you feel like when we say that, most people know what we're talking about?
I don't think so. I think we assume they do, and that gets us in trouble.
Yeah.
So let me just describe it real quick. So, all right. So for general conversation's sake, there are 3 buckets from a how your money is going to be taxed in retirement. And it's pretty simple. You've got your taxable bucket. That just means that as you get returns, that money gets taxed. So think anything that's, like cash, money markets, CDs, anything that's not in an employer-sponsored plan.
You get 1099s.
You get 1099s each year. Yeah. So there's a taxable bucket. Then you have your tax-deferred bucket. This is the most common one. This is anything tax-deferred, meaning you get a tax break now, you're going to pay taxes later. 401k, IRA, SEP, Simple, 403b, TSP, most employer-sponsored plans.
Is all that money in there yours?
It's unfortunately not all yours because Uncle Sam's going to get his hands on it.
That's
and
right.
You don't even know what amount.
That's right. Why not?
Well, because they're going to change it on you.
Because you don't know what the amount is because you pay that tax when you take it out.
That's right.
At what rate?
Don't know.
Don't know.
Could be 5 years from now. Could be 30 years from now. Who knows what rate?
Yeah. You just took out a loan and you don't know what the interest rate is.
So taxable bucket 1, tax deferred bucket 2, the most common one, and then tax free is bucket 3, meaning no matter when you take it, no matter how you take it, that money is going to be tax free. You're getting money over the fence, as I call it, meaning like you're making decisions now so that you know the game later. Your tax free bucket, that bucket you can dip into with no future unknown tax landmine. So those are your 3 buckets. And to Matt's point, there is an optimal amount for each person, each situation. And so the question is, do you know what that amount is for you? Most people answer that question no.
And of course they do, right? Because this is not easy to do. So most people come into the office and, Aaron, line up the buckets in terms of which one's biggest to smallest. The biggest to smallest buckets.
Yeah. Biggest is almost always the tax deferred.
Yep.
We
Tax
call it
deferred.
401k IRA bucket.
Yep.
And then usually, and these are probably close, but the next one usually is taxable.
Yep.
Meaning, 1099s each year.
Yep.
And then the third, usually the smallest bucket, is the tax-free.
Yep. And of course, when you ask someone, hey, you got 3 buckets. You got the tax-deferred bucket and the taxable one and the tax-free. Where do you want all your money? Every single person, without fail, instantaneously says, well, I want it all in the tax-free bucket. Of course. And we're like, right, so why is yours the smallest? Why is that one the smallest? And the answer is because it's actually difficult to get dollars into that tax-free bucket. You don't just stumble your way into that.
A very common misconception on that topic is whenever we talk about doing Roth conversions.
I can't do that.
I can't do that because the limit is $8,000 per year. I can only do $8,000 a year. It's not
Can't
enough.
do it.
No, and that's unfortunate. Well, fortunately, actually. Fortunately, there is not that limit on that one. If that's something that is news to you, if you're like, no, if you're yelling at your steering wheel right now as you're hearing this, thinking that we're crazy and that we're wrong, please call us at 770-741-0120. If all we do today is dispel that myth, we've served Atlanta well.
Everything we're going to be talking about today, these are things that you're going to want to be wrong about. Because if you're wrong about it, it means there's a world out there where you're paying way less in taxes. So you want to be wrong about these things. Okay, you're right. Tax deferred, biggest, taxable, tax free. It's hard to get dollars into the tax free bucket. You don't just stumble into the tax free bucket. And so the exercise, the first kind of tax strategy is how do we right size the 3 different buckets? How do we get dollars out of tax deferred and into taxable and out of taxable and into tax free and all the different combinations that exist? How do we right size the buckets? If we do that, and we've been doing this for a long time, but over the last 2 years when we've kind of tracked, hey, we right size the buckets, how much do we save in taxes paid to Uncle Sam in and through retirement? It's well into the 6 figures. Just by right sizing the buckets, we're literally saving 6 figures in taxes paid in and through retirement.
If I had to guess, just like the last 10 people that we've helped, the last 10 new folks that we've helped, and we went through our entire plan, tax strategies, just from my memory and I think it's probably around $300,000 to $400,000 on the average that we save a couple over a 30-year retirement in taxes paid to Uncle Sam.
That's right. And if your portfolio is north of like $2 million, that's going to be way more than that. More than likely. If you got a big tax deferred account over $2 million, it's probably going to be more than that. Now, here's the rub. The rub is this type of planning can't happen overnight.
It takes time.
It takes time. It's going to take probably 6 or 7 years to right size your buckets. And that's why we say if you are in the transition window, from saving your dollars and growing your dollars to protecting and distributing, these are the things that you need to be doing in that transition window because it takes 6 or 7 years. If that's you, 770-741-0120, retireatlradio.com. Again, 770-741-0120. You say, I don't have my money in the right buckets. My buckets are all out of whack. They're all different sizes. If you want to right size your buckets and you want to engage with someone who's going to take the time to sit down with you over 6 or 7 years to make it happen, that's the number to call, 770-741-0120.
What about the adult that's listening right now and they love what you're saying and they're thinking to themselves, right size your tax buckets. Man, you are speaking my language. But do I have enough for my financial future? Is there a certain amount accumulated so that we can take advantage of this bucket?
Well, what I will say is the tax deferred bucket is the one that's going to cause the most problems, right? Because that's the deal that you've made with the government, the handshake deal. I'm going to delay tax now. I'll pay it later. At what rate? You don't know. So if you have like less than $200,000 in your tax deferred bucket, there's probably a world where you can just get away with using the standard deduction, your standard exemption, and not be hurt too bad. But once you start getting over that $250,000 mark in your tax deferred bucket, $400,000, $500,000, $1 million, okay, you need to engage in this level of planning.
You mentioned the Secure Act and how that could affect us.
Yep. And Aaron, I'm going to breeze through this one because it's simple.
Do it.
Long story short, the Secure Act didn't make us more secure, but it is probably the biggest piece of tax legislation that's been passed in the last decade or two. Huge changes. The ones that you really need to key in on are the RMD age changing to 73 and 75. And here's why that matters. Why do you invest your money? You invest your money to grow it, right? I mean, nobody's investing their money to not grow it. Mm-hmm. That's the whole point. And RMDs would just be forced taxation. So by moving the required minimum distribution back to age 73 or 75, it depends on when you were born, your money is going to grow for more years. So if you take no action, those who start RMDs at age 73, taking no action, are going to pay, the math that we've done, about 27% more in taxes. Because what has happened, you've gotten older and life expectancy has gone down and your money is now larger. And those RMDs are based on your life expectancy. So now you have to actually draw out more every single year and your money is a larger pile of dollars. For the people that wait until 75 and they take no action, our math says it's going to be about a 31% increase in the taxes paid just by doing nothing and letting RMDs happen. And you don't have to do that. And so we would just encourage you, if you don't have a plan for your RMDs, you need to get a plan for your RMDs. 770-741-0120. And that leads us into the next strategy, which is a fun one. We talked about we're going to do some easy ones. The last two were pretty easy, apply to almost everybody. We're going to get into some fun ones because being good stewards and being charitable is near and dear to Aaron and I's heart. I mean, we love that. And we love planning with people who are like-minded in that area. So Aaron, let's talk about QCDs, tying it into the Secure Act. You don't have a plan for your RMDs. What's a QCD? How can we use it?
Well, yeah, let me first say that one of the things that we often find on this topic is that when people go through a process like ours, I'm not even going to say it's only ours, but I know from experience that people walk out of our office after being through our planning process, realizing, wow, I can do more than I thought. There's something about just understanding where you are and understanding how much work you've already done and what that means for you in retirement. You think, wow, I can afford to be charitable. I can afford to gift money. If I don't spend this, I'm going to just die with more. I'd rather bless someone while I'm alive. I love that conversation. It happens a lot. So there are ways in which you can take your money and invest it and grow it and give part of that away and get the tax benefits from it all while you're alive. And that's what we're talking about now.
And it'll satisfy your RMD.
Right.
So you can take money straight out of your qualified account, your IRA. You can take money straight out of your IRA. You can donate it to the charity of your choice, and it will satisfy your RMD and be non-taxable. So if you're the type of person that's already giving money, why in the world would you take an RMD, pay taxes on it, and then turn around and go give it? No, you just give it straight out of your IRA, and it's a phenomenal strategy. Again, 770-741-0120. If you want to talk about charitable giving, RMDs, what to do with those, we're here to help. RetireATLRadio.com. The next one is a cool one, and I've got an example for it. Same line of thinking. DAF.
Yeah.
Donor advised funds. So I want to talk about, we're talking about giving again. A donor advised fund is just another way to do some giving, but I'm going to run through some numbers, okay? Let's say that you're donating $10,000 a year to your church, okay? $10,000 a year, and you've got another $15,000 of deductions between mortgage interest and, all the things, right? $25,000. The problem is you don't itemize that, right? You don't itemize that. Right. You just take the standard deduction. And so the way that you're doing that, if that's you, the way you're doing it, let's talk about 3 years. Over 3 years, you're taking the standard deduction. Right now it's $29,200 for a married couple. You're taking $29,200 for 3 years. You're getting a total deduction of $87,000, okay? $87,000. Now here's the deal. If we just get smart about this, like we don't have to play to not lose. We can play to win. And so that's what we'd like to do. We know that you're going to give $10,000 a year to your local church or your local charity because you've been doing it for years. So here's how we're going to do it. We're going to give 3 years up front. We're going to give 3 years up front to a donor-advised fund. So in our first, this is called bunching. In our first year, we're doing the $30,000 into the donor-advised fund, and you still have your $15,000 in other deductions. We itemize that year, $45,000 of itemized deductions. And then in years 2 and 3, we take our standard deduction again, and over those 3 years, instead of only deducting $87,000 off of our taxes paid, we're deducting $103,000 off our taxes paid by changing virtually nothing,
right? Just
how we donate the money. So if you're someone who's charitable and you're taking the standard deduction, I'm going to encourage you. There's potentially a much, much better way to do that, and it's life-giving, and you should call us 770-741-0120.
And so what's the moral of the story? Maybe you caught that, all those details and those numbers. Maybe you're in your car and it's traffic and you only heard half of it. The point of it is we are thinking about these things. This is our job. One of our jobs, as we see it, is to come to you, if we are your advisor, with ideas, with the rules of the game that you can't be aware of. You're an expert in a different field. This is what we do every day. We are CFPs. Not that being a CFP by itself, a certified financial planner, gives us this knowledge, but I would argue that if your financial advisor isn't a CFP, well, then ask them why not. And if the answer is because it's too much work and time, then you got a problem on your hands. That's usually the answer. But this kind of stuff is the stuff that we think about. And it changes the entire game for you. It's not just a matter of this investment gets a better return. Of course, that's important, but we say all the time, you can't out-return the tax brackets. These are ideas that we come to our clients with.
And I just want to echo, Aaron, what you said is perfect. We come to you with these things. It's not your job to say, all right, give me your 60 tax strategies that you were talking about, and I'm going to do all the research, and I'll tell you which ones are right for me. That's a nightmare. No. Tell us about yourself. Who are you? What is it that you're doing? We look at your tax returns. We see what you're up to, and we're like, hey, actually, there's like 3 or 4 things that we could be doing for you that can really move the needle. It's our job to come to the table with these things. We're just running through 5 of them here today that we use on a regular basis that have blessed other people. And if you want to take advantage, give us a call, 770-741-0120.
Every one of our clients gets a call from us quarterly. We have a team that does this. Often me and Matt are in on those calls, but we have a team that reaches out to all of our clients quarterly. Now, sometimes those calls are very short, nothing going on. How you doing? Nothing to report. Good. Call me next quarter. Sometimes it's like, hey, we've been doing some looking at your portfolio and this has happened, that's happened, and you should consider X. And that's our job. We reach out proactively.
Yep.
So that's rapid fire. That's a lot of information in a short period of time. The name of the game, the moral of the story is we are thinking about this on our clients' behalf. It's part of our expertise. Financial planning, investment management, it isn't just about what returns you got. It's what you get to keep. It's what you get to use. You're not saving up for Uncle Sam. You're saving up for your own life.
The headlines are heavy right now. There's a lot going on in the world.
When are they not?
If someone gives you a call and they come to see you and they're like, I'm just overwhelmed by all these heavy headlines right now. I'm worried about my money. What do you tell them? Because you kind of have to play therapist a little bit.
Absolutely. Psychology is a huge part of it. But the biggest thing is having a plan. And when I say a plan, I don't mean, this document in a binder that you did one day that you put on the shelf and it became obsolete the next day because the headlines changed or your life changed, something happened. When I say a plan, I'm talking about a living, breathing document that responds to life as life happens to you. So we can even do things like we can stress test those plans we put together. How do market conditions affect your plan? How's this going to affect your income? How will that affect, you running out of money or not? Inflation, all the different risks involved. Having a plan that can speak to that, I think, gives a pretty big sleep at night factor.
Same question to you, Matthew Decker, here on Retire ATL. Somebody comes to you and they're worried. What are some of the opportunities that you offer people so they don't have to be worried about their money?
Yeah, the big thing is just stress testing the major risks. So we'll look at rises in taxes. What if they double? What if tax rates double? What if they go up by 50%? What happens to your money? We can look at that. What happens if you have a long-term care episode? We can look at that. We have clients that are paying $10,000 a month in assisted living facility costs. Okay, well, what if that happens to you or your loved one? How does that impact the plan?
Yeah.
And it's not about knowing exactly how you're going to react in each of those situations. It's just seeing the effect and understanding that, one catastrophic event may not actually wreck everything that you've spent your life building. And if you can just get that clarity, it really does ease some of the anxiety of some of those big risks.
Yeah.
I love the Mike Tyson quote. Everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the face. What we know is that life's going to punch us in the face. We don't know when, we don't know how, we don't know where, but something's going to change. And the truth is, we can model those things. We can build those things in to see how your portfolio, how your plan's going to respond to it.
And it only takes a couple instances of seeing a stress test to realize, maybe I'm a little bit more resilient than I thought. And if we can get you there, that's half the battle.
Insurance products are offered through the Insurance Business Advanced Planning Group. Vincent Financial Group is an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Advanced Planning Group are not subject to investment advisor requirements. Advanced Planning Group and IPW are not affiliated companies. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be constructed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. Vincent Financial Group is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained by sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Vincent Financial Group. This podcast is a paid placement.